Hey, what's up, my sister?
Christine. Hey, the face of a hero. How are you doing this evening, my brother Agustin?
I am good. I am good, but I'm upset with Mother Nature because she played me. She played me. We had some nice weather, and all of a sudden,
Well,
boom.
here's the Mother Nature's excuse. She bipolar.
hmm Absolutely.
Welcome, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Yes.
Yes,
Happy Thursday.
hey, our show, The Face of a Hero, we just keep bringing in some heroes from left and right, north and south, east and west, from all over Chicago, all over the country. And today we have some amazing guests today that you need to know about their life and why they do what they do. But what's it like to be in their shoes? Agustin, are you excited about what's coming on today?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait. I love our guests.
Right?
I love our guests. I love the life that they have, because that's what you and we do. We give back, and that's what our guests do. And it amazes me on how each and every one of them has their role in life picked out for them.
For sure. Yep. And this is a combination of Black and brown communities. I love it.
Love it.
Love it. So should we keep our guests waiting? I mean, our host, I can't even think straight. Our audience waiting.
Now let's bring them on.
Let's bring them on
and let's
have some
expose
fun.
what they do.
Let's rock and roll. All right, here we go. Guest number 1, Angel Lopez. Hello. Guest number 2, Nate the Skate Turner. Good
What's
evening,
happening, everybody?
How are you guys?
I like that.
Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you guys
Thanks
making
for having
some time.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you are in this field today and not in the football field out there today. So,
Right.
welcome to The Face of a Hero. This is your platform. You two are heroes. And sometimes, you being so modest, you're saying, we're not heroes. Yes, you are. So tonight we are shining the light over you, both gentlemen. We have, as you see here on the skate, hello, I'm reading the word skate from your name on the screen, Nate the Skate Turner, and of course, Coach Angel Lopez. Buenas noches. Good
¿Cómo
evening,
está?
Muy bien. So, this is great. Agustin is excited just to hear about what you guys are going. I know you, but Agustin is now going to find out, right?
I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I want to hear your story. I love hearing stories. I love hearing how people give back, because that's what even I do. We give back. We are committed to giving back to the next generation and helping the next generation develop.
That's right. And one thing that I will say, that you gentlemen are leading by example. And I'm not just saying this just to kind of, build your ego. Not at all. It's the fact that you are leading by example. So I'm going to start because I've known him the longest. No offense, Mr. Nate. Angel Lopez, he and I go way back. I don't even know how long. And so I appreciate you, man, all that you've been doing in the community. Yeah. But we want to know, who is Angel Lopez? First of all, where you from, dude? Where you from?
Well, I was born and raised in Humboldt Park, Chicago. And I saw, when I was in 1973, 72, the race riots at Humboldt Park and the police back in the day. I seen that growing up. And, like everybody else in the neighborhood, they grew up hard, and gang infested area. And, and my kind of partner, because he's going to say about the same thing, because we both came from the same, same situation. I learned a lot as a kid, and seeing a lot of stuff as a kid. And then I think it made me, as a kid, sports was a big deal for me. My father always, typical Puerto Rican dad, baseball and boxing, and that's what it was, So, and I played baseball in Humboldt Park, and And it's so funny that, and then I got into boxing at Humboldt Park, and that's basically that I did half my, one of my youth. And then, like any typical kid, I try to keep myself busy as possible, and doing a lot of sports. The good thing about with me, people knew me as a kid as an athletic kid. So a lot of the gangs respect me a lot, and carry groceries to my parents, and kind of like, they didn't mess with me because I was already a well-known kid in sports. So I kind of learned early in life. I always say that I went to Jungle University. So I learned so
Wait,
much. And
Jungle University. What is that? I've
yeah, I
never
mean,
heard
like you're it's like an animal, man. Anybody there is gonna come and get you. You know what I mean? And you got to be
that.
prepared in life. And if you're not strong in life, man, it's gonna eat you up.
That's right.
And it's just it really was a learning process. But not only that, but seeing the violence growing up back in the day, and I saw a lot of things that just made me realize as I got older, and sports really, I call it, sports saved my life, and gave me an avenue, and had opportunities to do great things as a young kid. And from high school had an opportunity, got to go play it out in sports all over the place, and just had a lot of, growing up. I had a
I
good
can't really
time as a
talk to
kid.
you.
Huh? I
I
didn't hear
can't
you.
really talk to you.
Huh? You hear me? Okay.
Okay. So you went to Thule,
No, I went to Collin Park High School.
Calvin Park.
Yeah, I went to 4343 West Whitewood High School. I played football there. After that, I went to play at Southern University. I played football there. I was a running back then. I ran 4.3 on the 40. I ran I think 4.34, somewhere around there. I was a fast kid, 195 pounds, 5'6". I was just a fast kid, and got an opportunity to played it. And after I got done, I went to play a little bit of semi-pro football. I tried out a couple NFL teams, but I didn't make it. So it's a numbers game,
Yep.
and
Did you
it's
say you
just
didn't make it? What?
no, yeah, yeah. It's just it's a numbers game. You can make it or break it. You know what I mean? And they could tell you that because it's hard to get in. It really is. It really is hard to
Definitely.
get in. But the good thing for me was there was another calling in life for me. And in 19 in at dark, I got opportunity to go to Canadian League. I got to play there for, like, I think about 3 years. And then after that, I broke my leg and my fibula, and I couldn't play it anymore.
Ouch.
So I went back and I got into education. And then so I got back, and then one day one of my good friends asked me to coach at a Portage Park youth football program. And I said, well, I said, I gotta first learn. I played, but I also, me as a coach, and I became a young dad. I started becoming, family man. So I went in there and I got to coach a youth program. And I asked my friend who's a director at that time. He says, "Hey," I told him, "I want to go to the worstest team you have. I don't want to go to
Right.
a winning program." So I went to a youth team, eighth grade team, and coaches were yelling and screaming, and I'm like, "What what's going on?" I said, "This is an easy game. Why are you yelling at kids?" So I told the coach, I said, "Listen, uh, they were like losing. They didn't win no games. The kids were like, they were yelling at kids." And so I asked
Demoralized.
yeah, I told the coach, I said, "Listen," I said, "let me coach these kids. I'll bring some friends of mine." So I had some friends from the Canadian League they stopped playing. They came by and helped me out. First 4 games, we won everybody. We started beating everybody. Parents are loving it. They're like, "Oh my God." So So we played a team called from Crystal Lake, a team that was really good. So all the Catholic League coaches were there, a
Mm.
bunch of them. Frank Langty, I mean, coach from Gordon Tech. I mean, everybody was there. So and they were like, "Who's this guy coaching this guy? And I had all my technique down pack, everything. So, a lot
Angel
of these
Lopez
coaches,
in the house.
yeah, these guys love the way I coached, and a lot of these coaches they saw me the way I coach, and I was already an educator already, so I just said okay, so I got an opportunity to coach at a high school. So I've been offered different schools. So I went to Weber High School and I got to coach there, and I was there educational also, and so I got an opportunity to coach that team, and I mean, it was the most, I think the experience that I got there blew me away, as a young coach.
Life
And
changing.
then, oh no, it was a very, very impressive. I met so many great coaches. I mean, it's like when you go to a college and you see, I mean, when I was coaching, I was seeing kids, they look like they should be in the Big Ten. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
this is honest. So I remember we were playing against a team, Mount Carmel, Chicago, and I
Mount
said,
Carmel.
yeah, I mean, I was like, holy smoke. They had a kid named Simeon Rice. I'll never forget that kid, man. That kid, man, that guy was so fast, and I was a wide receiver coach, so our tackle, I think, was, I don't know if was it Rosario Rodriguez or something. Hey, coach, I can't handle him. I can't. I mean, he was like, he was super, super fast. And we read so much stories about, their roster was just, 90% of their rosters was D1. You know what I mean? So, but that's just the all the teams are like that. When I started coaching, and I got to like, wow, this is kind of cool. After that, I said to a couple of coaches says, I left. I got an opportunity. I was because they were recruiting kids back then. So a lot of the college coaches I was talking to, gave me opportunities to work with some of the universities as a grad assistant, and I started my coaching career from there. I personally thank my career from the Catholic League, Chicago Catholic League, because a lot of those kids wound up playing in the league. A lot of the coaches wound up coaching in the NFL or big time schools. And I got the best coaching school in the world, I think, personally. And I
Yeah.
tell that to Nate all the time. I think, I thank them to me be a better man and a better coach,
Amen to
because
that.
and they will tell you, I mean, when I told you we chew the same dirt, he's from that. He played on great teams.
Yeah.
His Hall of Fame coach Frank he's an awesome man.
Well, now
A
he's
man
gonna
of
tell
character.
your story, Nate.
Well, I'm just telling you the coaching part,
I'm just messing with
so, but anyway, after that, you know I got an opportunity. So in 1994 and 95, the NFL started a program. His name is Art Shell. And
you.
Art Shell, they had the Bill Walsh Minority Coaching Program. So I got the opportunity, and my coach told me, Lopez, you're going to, an NFL team. You got to, you're going to go work in training camp. That's how it began for me.
Okay, so
And
we're gonna put a pause right there, Angel,
yep.
since we're gonna get to right to the NFL, and then we're gonna go to Nate now.
Mhm.
So yeah, see, Angel is from the hood, from the barrio.
You're from my old neighborhood,
All
Angel.
right. So Nate, the skate Turner. I'm curious, the skate, where does that come from? Nate, welcome once again to the Face of a Hero, and you are a hero on our show. Tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? What's happening? Who is Nate Turner?
Southeast side Chicago, born and raised. It's special when you grow up in the city. It's a little different than other places.
Mm-hmm.
a lot more obstacles, a lot more fun. It's a lot more everything. So I went to Mount Carmel High School, Chicago Catholic League. Played under great coach Frank Lindsay over there, and he taught us how to be men.
Mm.
When you have the opportunity to take a child and teach them how to do right, there's nothing that can go wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's like, so other things happen. So if you're coaching and you teach kids to be men, winning happens. That's just the natural way things work. If you cross your T's and dot your I's, a coach can trust you with the little things and the big things.
Right, right.
So, so growing up through that, then I was recruited by Tom Osborne to go to the University of Nebraska. I tell these kids always talking about offers. I had 65 offers.
Wow.
65 offers.
Wow.
coming out of high school.
Wow.
But I ended up at coach, University of Nebraska. Another great dude, another great leader of men, and do it right and be a man, walk upright, don't take shortcuts. The easiest way to get lost is taking a shortcut. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And, these kids, that's why I enjoy giving back to these kids so much, because they need that. It's a lack of, in the city of Chicago, at least where I'm at, it's a lack of fatherhood. And, and so you got a lot of, and it's not bad on the moms, but if, the issue is if you have a mom that's having a hard time with a dad, and then the kid looks like the dad, and it's just a whole bunch of issues and a whole lot of bad mouthing that goes on, and we're dealing with that now in society. You know what I mean? If you have a woman that's telling this kid that, oh, your daddy is this and your daddy is that, and then you look in the mirror and you look like him,
Yeah.
you figure that you're just a horrible person. And it's happened a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
and that's not good. That's
no,
not
it's
good.
not. It's not. And you come across that with a lot of kids. But these kids are programmable.
They
Kids
are. They're
programmable.
coachable, right, Coach?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
speaking of kids, Nate, how were you as a kid?
How was I as a kid?
Yeah, were
I
you a
was
troublemaker? Were
rambunctious.
you like, I mean, what got you to get into football? I mean, were you tackling somebody else or something else, or what? What's talk to us about your childhood since we're talking about kids?
The football thing just kind of happened. I was a track guy first.
Oh, okay.
So I already had a couple scholarships in track. I did well, came a second in the state as a sophomore. And so I had a bunch of track stuff going on. And I could catch. So it was just kind of a natural thing. My buddies were like, man, you better than all of us. You're not even playing football. I was like, well, I got my track stuff. I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was a hurdler. So as I started to gain weight and fill out, lifting weights and stuff, I got too big to hurdle, basically. I wasn't too big to hurdle, but I hit a lot of hurdles, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I hit a lot of hurdles.
You got all
and those old wooden hurdles.
Oh
yeah.
The old wooden
Did you
hurdles.
break them, Nate?
I remember when Coach Osborne, when I signed with Nebraska, the first thing he said is I couldn't hurdle no more. And that's the first time I realized that these coaches have a lot of control. You know what I mean? When he said that, that was it. There was no, I was getting a calcium deposit on my knee from hitting these hurdles. He's like, oh, well, that's my knee now, and you're not going to hit on any more hurdles. But the kids, we need to, and just like I try to reach out, give back, help, the youth see a different way. Because a lot of times all it is opening a door for them to see something different, and when they finally see something different, 9 times out of 10, they'll like the different.
Oh yeah.
Just like I tell kids all the time, if you dig in the dirt, eventually you're going to find a new you and you're really going to like him.
Right.
It's just the fact of getting your hands dirty and digging for the new you. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that, or they don't have the ability or knowledge to even try to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why I love Angel so much, because he knows that, and we try to give that back. We try to give
So
that back. And there's so too many people out here that don't do that. There are people in positions of power that don't do that. And
right,
shame on
right.
them for that, because
They
So
live on the
the world
streets.
would be so much easier if
oh, we
everybody.
know that, but you know what? We gotta be besides ourselves and be the bigger people and saying let's not worry about what they're not doing, so long as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Oh, 100%.
So before you made it, both of you, before this is a question for both of you, and Agustin, if you have any questions too, feel free to jump in. Um, before you made it to the NFL, what was the most challenging moment that each of you went through?
Well, even before, let's say, not even before the before you guys went pro, but
Well, any of that time before you
yeah,
even hit NFL, before you even thought NFL, what was the most challenging moment? And Angel, you're laughing. Did you have several?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
Believe me.
yeah.
You got
Growing up in the city, you're gonna have a bunch of that.
oh yeah.
that's
You're
right.
gonna have a bunch of that.
Yeah.
Well, because I want some of our youth to feel that they're not alone. That's a question to ask you, so that
Right.
when they hear you speaking, then they feel like, wow, it doesn't only happen to me.
They
Even
can
though
relate.
we are in 2023, what has been those challenging moments for both of you?
Well, you know what? Like Angel was saying earlier, uh, back. I mean, I'm 53. So back when I was growing up, it was different rules. There was different rules of engagement. You know what I mean? If I
Hmm.
wanted to hang out with the gangbangers, they would tell me to go home. Like, Nate, you play football, man. Take your ass home. There's no need to be here, and you respect them for that. Nowadays, there's that respect isn't there.
Hmm.
That respect isn't there. I've seen dudes killed. I've seen dudes get beaten up. You know what I mean? It's just, you have to, growing up in the city, you have to be able to compartmentalize things. you
Absolutely.
know, and as an intelligent adult, you know what it is. But as a kid, it's tough. It's tough, and there's nobody really to talk to about it, because everybody's in it. You know
So
what I mean? So if everybody's watching the same movie, you can't really stop the movie and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You
You
know,
got to wait till after the movie, and then that's when you get the lesson. That's what's weird about life. You get the test, and then you get the lesson. You get the
Mm-hmm.
lesson after the test.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
to add something to what Nate was saying, and for me, um, you know, every door is gonna be closed, and you'll find another one open if you're persistent. Um, and one of the things, I'm gonna give him compliment too, because Nate is there are a few guys like him who know how to run the ball right. What I mean by that is in life, and when you grow up in the city of Chicago, you gotta learn how to you gotta walk the walk. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
how people respect you. And if you're true to yourself, the kids are gonna see that. You know, the kids don't have a foundation at home. They don't have a safe haven.
Right, right.
And what
Correct.
happens with me and Nate, we take care of the underserved. And we trying to educate the kids. Let me tell you something. When I talk to kids all the time, you know, titles are all good and everything. Everything we did was all good, all the accomplished we did. But at the end of the day, it's who we are as people and
Right,
what we can educate the kids. And so they don't go through what we went through, like me and Nate
right,
went through.
right.
Let me tell you something that what for me as a coach, um, a coach is a father figure. He
Mm-hmm.
he has his job is to take a little boy and make him into a young man. Okay.
Yep.
And I love this profession. I've done this profession almost 40 years. And when I talk to kids all the time, I talk about former players, what they went through and how they go in there. I tell the kids all the time. They tell me it's cool, the NFL and all this, but I tell them only 1% makes it. If you don't go
Absolutely.
to school, you don't take care of what you need to take care of, that ain't gonna help you in life. Because let me tell you something, Nate will back up what I'm about to say. Okay, every NFL player that went through this and they play and they invested in the league, guess what? They got a second life. That's how it
Mm-hmm.
is. They
Right.
have a second life. you know. And when you're, when Nate talks about his coaches, okay, as a coach myself, I get honored to hear when players like him was taught. And people asked me a long time ago, what is your favorite level? I tell them high school, because if you really look at it, a coach has a foundation to the kids and teaches them how to become a productive citizen. And like
Mm.
Nate said, they're gonna learn how to become young men in life. And he's right about one thing. A lot of these kids don't have a foundation of today, how we grew up.
That's so
We grew
true.
up in the table. We grew up listening to our parents. We grew up doing things that we need to do. I had to go clean my room, throw out the garbage, and all those things. The morals part of it, okay? Right? In today's football, it's so challenging at the high school level that you have to be a real alpha male to teach the kids what the production of life is really, you know. I got to say something real quick on one thing. Um, Tom Osborne, I'm a big fan of him. I've seen him in clinics and stuff. You know, when they said that he was taught by his high school coach, but we was taught by three coaches
Mm.
from three different levels. Okay. And by the way, this book that I read is
Ah.
Coach Matters. Okay. Tom Osborne was a religious man.
Mm.
Everything he writes, it's all biblical.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And they will tell you that. And he is a good man. And I learned from him too. I learned from a bunch of coaches. So I take what I to the kids and I'll teach them those kind of things. You know what I mean? So it's like Nate said, we have to help these kids of today and
Right.
make
It's a
them
different
understand.
upgrade. Yeah, it's so
We
different.
we have to make sure that we can teach them how to give back. And how you do that is to be sincere with them, be honest with them,
Mm.
don't lie
Absolutely.
to them. You know what I mean? If you
Mm.
see that and you're honest to them, guess what? They're going to be honest with you.
Right, right. And they're going to always go back to you. But you both mentioned that for our kids of today, not to go through the things you guys went through. Can you give
Hmm.
us some of those things? What was it like? What were those things that you had to go through?
You want to go, Nate? You want to go,
Well,
Nate?
yeah. You know what? I was blessed, man. I had my daddy at home. I had my mom at home. I had a blessed life. But then once you walk outside the door, the city's an animal. The
Mm.
city's an
Come
animal.
on,
And regardless
preach
of
it.
what's happening at home, you're going to come across a bunch of stuff that you probably shouldn't. Not age appropriate, not soul appropriate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So there's so much stuff that you see. I remember like on 64th and 63rd and Dante, there's be prostitutes. I'm walking to school, there's prostitutes,
Mm.
there's drug addicts. It's a bunch of stuff that a kid shouldn't even be encountered with. But because you're in the city and you grew up in the city, you see a bunch of stuff you shouldn't see.
Mm.
And that honestly, it can go a couple ways. For me, it went this way. I just knew a lot. I was well older than my years as
Mhm.
far as
You
life
grew up fast.
experience. You know what I mean? When I went to Nebraska, it was kids, a 18-year-old kid is an 18-year-old kid. I was like 25.
Mhm.
Just from the things you've seen, and the things you've heard in the
What
city.
you've experienced.
And it's hard to pinpoint things that actually happen, but it's just a bunch of all the negative things that happen that you aren't
Mhm.
alone. You know what I mean? A lot of kids don't. They feel like they're alone. That's why I love coaching. I love doing camps because it gives kids opportunity, and they know if you're a fraud. They know if you're a fraud right when they first talk to you, or the first time they test you, and you
Yep.
Mhm.
check them on it. Then they're like, okay, this is a little different situation.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. You just have to give the kids the truth. A lot of people whitewash things. A lot of people, tap dance around the situation. And you remember that stuff. You remember it from a man you think is a good man, you will remember all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know,
it's, especially
playing
if they see, yeah, if they see you're saying something and doing something different,
right, and it's
it's up to them.
visible. It's
Mhm.
plainly visible. I remember Coach Osborne. We used to get in trouble for cursing. Like imagine there's so much cursing that goes on in life.
You muted. You there, Nate?
Oh, he's trying. He's working on it.
Okay. Sometimes when calls come through, it can, if you're on the your
Yeah.
side, it happens.
You got it, Nate? He's probably he's working on it.
Yeah.
I can see now he's sideways.
So
Yeah.
Everybody turn their neck. No. But
Well,
what was those challenging moments for you,
for
Angel? While
for me for me, um, uh, my stuff is like West Side Story. It's a West Side Story in a Latin community. Um, it's it really, growing up in Humboldt Park, Chicago, when it's really gang infested. Everyday life in the Latin community. you know, um, Mommy's telling you in Spanish, you can't stay out at 10 o'clock, or if you got to get home, because my mother was the type of person, that, you stay out at nighttime, bad things happen. That was it is in the Latin community, you know what I mean? So, always can't stay out late. If you stay out late, something will happen, which it usually does at nighttime. There's a song that comes out. It says the freaks come out tonight.
oh yeah.
That's basically what it is in
come
those
out at
days.
night, they sure do.
Yeah. So growing up was typical. It was a struggle for all of us in our family. My parents had to work, and we had to eat the same old foods every day. Arroz con habichuela, bistec once in a while, verdura or something like that. you know um so at some time it was I look at my mom, I gotta eat that again, or spam and rice, I gotta eat that again. I mean, I was lucky that we had a steak, because and she said, mijo, nosotros son pobres, we gotta eat the same thing, she said in
Yep.
Spanish, right?
White rice,
Oh,
egg with ketchup.
yep, that's it, right, right.
A
So
bologna sandwich.
and then I gotta help do laundry and scrub my hands in the little Ouija thing board there,
I
and
remember that.
and do the little thing, circle, put the thing in the ringer, and
Oh
do
yeah.
some of those things in those days, and then then when I got to do my chores or whatever, I go and play fast pitch in the school with take a spray paint, make a box, and I'm playing fast pitch, but
Hey Dre, do me a
um
favor. Bring me that
so
cigar box.
yeah, so it was like it was a every day, my parents were scared of the
Well, the whole thing,
streets,
all of it. Just
so and she wanted, my mom wanted, to make sure we're all safe, and stuff like that.
I
And
can't hear it.
it was a very difficult time in those
Put it right
days,
here.
you know what I mean? It really was, because the police and the Latin community was not good in the 70s, and it was really, really bad. So, and I saw a lot of stuff growing up, and as a kid, but the racism and all that stuff, I seen it as a kid. And it was hard, even as a young kid, and but my parents, they were just, try to keep it, in the box, every day, I'm watching you, in those days, mama open the window and be screaming my name right down the block, when you coming home, and
The
though,
lights got to come on.
yeah, exactly, right. So I'm in those days, moms will be outside looking at you. Okay, when you coming, or the belt's hanging. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was that kind of life, man. My parents were just wanting to make sure everybody was in the house. They were scared. They don't want the kids, get hurt on the street and stuff like that. So they were kind of a little on the strict side, um but they was very supported. We had to keep busy, do stuff, if we, work and make money on the side, stuff like that. So as a kid, I had an okay life. I mean, all I could say is I got just tired of eating the same old thing over and over as a kid, man. You know what I
At
mean?
least you had something.
And
Nowadays,
that's what
it's
mother
sad to
said.
say, yeah, some kids now don't have anything to eat. And the
Yeah,
only meal they
yeah,
have is the one they get at school.
yeah. I know, and I'll tell you, you know, everything that Nate, you know, I get emotional sometimes when I see. Let me tell you something, guys, and I think I'm so passionate when I see NFL players who believe what you do.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That see, they don't see me the exterior. They don't see Angel Lopez the coach. They don't see that. They see Angel Lopez his heart. They see his compassion. They see what he does. You know what I'm saying? And when you see that, that becomes a leader, and a leader leads, and everybody else follows, and then they become leaders, and they say, "Hey, Angel can do it. I can do it. It's not hard." Okay. And when you see things are, when we're feeding, clothing, and giving back, you know, and I'm gonna give some love to my brother, because this man was off the chain. I mean, you guys don't understand, this brother here has took 350 coats and gave those babies these coats. Okay, he did this all in 3 months of football camp, all that. This man, it's not about his title. It's not about all those things. He was showing his compassion, his heart. Okay.
Awesome.
And he says, let's help the community. He knows I'm
Right,
doing stuff in the Latin community, right? He went to the black community and did this exactly the same thing. And that's what we need more in this city of Chicago. We
right,
need
right,
that
right.
happening and making a ripple effect.
Right. No, and you guys are hearing two heroes right here, the face of a hero, and that's obviously Coach Angel Lopez and Nate the Skate Turner. Why the skate? Where's that coming from, Nate?
Well, back in my skinny track days.
I can barely hear you. Are
Can't
you
hear you.
pressing the speaker or something on
Can you
your
hear me?
device?
You know what?
Can barely hear you. I know that he's been having some technical difficulty on
Yeah.
his end.
He-
But I mean, I appreciate what you guys are doing. Um, you lost audio too, Agustin?
He's
No, Agustin sent me a message too.
oh,
What is
everybody's having
wrong with you guys? It's
everybody's having
a
a
hot
he's still
day here
talking.
with you guys.
You can't
Nate,
hear me?
you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I can
I
hear
can
you,
I can hear a
but
little
it's
bit.
so far away.
You probably had volume. Check your
Did you
volume.
plug something? If you plugged any headphones or speaker, it may be killing your volume. Okay, we apologize for the technical difficulties,
How's
my
that? Is
friend.
that
Yeah.
better?
There we
There
go.
we
We
go.
got you back, and we lost Agustin. Okay, we're about to bring him back.
Back.
Okay, all right, you are
I
back.
lost. I lost audio. I couldn't hear you, but I'm sorry.
It happens, but I'm glad
This
you're here. So,
Wi-Fi
Nate,
is crazy.
the skate Turner. Why the skate? Where is that coming from, Nate? I just had
So
to ask.
when I was running track, the one track coach used to call me Skeeter, and he called me Skeeter because I ran hurdles. And Ronaldo Nehemiah, who was played for the 49ers, he was a hurdler, and
Yeah.
his nickname was Skeeter. So it started off as Skeeter, and then evolved into Skate, and ended up being Nate the Skate.
Ah,
Nate the
and of
Skate.
course you don't mind that, right? Because
No, it was all
you
right.
have it
You
right
know
there.
what? It's a good nickname. If it was a
Well,
bad nickname, I wouldn't like it.
you wouldn't want to put it there, right? So,
Right, right.
so
I thought maybe you were hanging down at the Rainbow Skating Rink on Clark Street.
Oh my God, that's old school right there.
Right, that is old school.
That's old school right there,
The
boy. Rainbow,
rainbow.
I used to go there, man.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
have no
funny.
idea more than a rainbow skating rink is, but I'm a Hoosier. I'm Indiana. You guys are Chicagoans, right? But now let's fast forward to now. You are in college, Nate, and Angel. You coaching, and now
Mhm,
you ended up it's you getting the coaching for NFL. Tell us about that,
mhm.
Angel.
Well, that was an experience. Met tons of coaches and been opportunity with different teams. It really taught me a lot of things about the professional game. It is a business, and you have to bring your A game every day. Every day. If you don't bring your A game every day, can see you later. You know what the NFL means? Not for long. And and
Good one.
see, we all know that if you've been in there, they people know what that means. Um, and working with different coaches and being with different NFL coaches, it prepared me for my second life. And being with different teams and had opportunity being taught by different coaches across the board. There's a long list of that I could thank for being a part of it. But I think it's the experience I learned, and it's a tough business. It really is. I mean, I know you're seeing the media and you're seeing things about coaching that there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's that's been going on for years. I mean, it's just now coming into light now, but that's been going on for years. I mean, and I think I thank God for me, the opportunity, how I got in there is that I really worked hard. I showed coaches I can do some of the things some of these teams I've been with, and had the opportunity with some good people, and I just I thank for them to have that opportunity, but at the same time, um, it was an experience. And that's all I look at it. It was a regular job. It was an experience, and I got the opportunity. And after that, it opened other doors for me. And I, as being Latino, it really did open a lot of doors for me.
That's huge.
And it really did, because meeting all these different coaches, and the Tony Wise, the Dave Wanstead, and all, and the coach now is with the Dallas Cowboys, Coach McCarthy, and all these coaches. And it really really taught me a lot, and um, it really really and then not only that, but meeting all these different college coaches across, as a college coach, and meeting all these different coaches across the board, it really taught me to be a better person, but always be a leader. And that's what it taught me, really, when I got to that level. It's, you have to lead, you know and the good thing about being with these guys, they could see who you really are, and they know you've been taught a certain way, you know. And when I'm telling you this, NFL players can see who you really are as a coach, because they've been through it. They know that I don't have to tell them anything. They could tell what I bring to the table as a coach, because how I lead, for example. Because let me tell you something, and I'll give you a little insight. And it's an 18, 19, 20-hour job. And sometimes you have to sleep there, and you will
Mm,
never come home,
mm.
because you have to be prepared for the game. Okay. And that's the job. Okay. And sometimes your family will suffer from that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's a high demanding job. Okay. I call it a 5-star league for a reason. So, and Nate will say the same thing I'm saying right now, because he's been there. He knows what it takes. Because let me tell you, he's going to tell you that. I'm telling you, that guy, he's been there, and it's rough. It is a
It's
rough. Go ahead,
it's
brother.
tough. It's tough. It's tough
See,
to get there, and it's tough to stick around.
there you go. He's
It's tough
right.
to stick around, and to stick around, you got to be a pretty tough individual,
See,
mentally and physically.
physically, yep.
To
Well,
you
you
know
guys
to
both did it. Obviously, you fit both that
Yeah,
profile. You're
Yeah,
tough.
we're
yeah.
we're
Fit.
we're, we're Chicago kids.
Not for
Right,
long. That's why it's NFL. Not for long.
right.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
if you stick me in the wild, I'll come back wearing a bear jacket. That's the
I
difference.
like
But and
that. I
then
like
some people
that.
will die butt naked,
Mm,
and everybody's
mm.
not cut like that. So it's just, it's a certain amount of blessing, it's a certain amount of hard work,
Yeah.
a certain amount of timing that goes into all of it. You know,
So, what team did you
I've seen
both
some
play?
guys that were better than me not make it.
Mm,
I've
that
seen
were
some
better than
guys that
you
I
and
was
not make
better than and played longer than me.
it.
It's
Mm,
just the luck of the draw for the most part. Luck of the draw, getting into a good situation, and then once you see the situation, then the work starts. Then you have to fight to stay there. And unlike unlike other situations, uh, every year the team is trying to replace me.
That's it. Yep.
They're
See,
trying
I
to
told you.
replace me. Once from the time
Mm,
I sign, they're looking for my replacement. So
He's
mm.
I
telling the
have to do
truth.
something pretty special to stick around.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
In other
you
words, what he's
know,
saying that he got to bang some head in training camp and knock some people around. That's what he's
right.
saying.
He has to
Yeah,
prove
I
himself to
told you.
stay.
Yeah,
Right, right.
that's the only way he's got to stay along because those coaches they say, oh well, okay, we got our chart and our board in
Mhm,
our
mhm,
office.
mhm.
Okay, Nate's number one. Let's put him on that side, and we got about 7 other NFL backs. Okay, put him over here. Give him a little tag. See you later. Bring your playbook. So see you later. You know what I mean? And he's right. That's what he's saying. I mean, you really gotta make. Let's put it this way. You gotta really make your mark because it starts in training camp. You know, now, Nate will say this, and I'm going to say this: things has changed because it used to be when he played, it was real football. I'm going to say this because I'm from that era. It was real football. And say now he can't hit hard due to CBA collective bargaining agreement. You can't do this. You can't do that. Am I right around, Nate?
You're 100% correct.
Wow.
Some only you could only tackle so many days, and
See,
back when I
And
played, it was every day.
so was that because of the amount of injuries that have come out of the way you guys used to play before?
the
So
concussion.
to a certain point, but
Question.
Yeah,
but also by playing the way we play, you can avoid injuries.
Mm,
You know,
he's right.
anytime someone's hurt, odds are they were going half speed. You know, you don't get hurt when you're going 1,000 miles an hour.
No, he don't.
So you have to learn how to play on that level all the time.
All the time. Yep.
And those there are some injuries from that, but they're injuries. Period.
Yeah.
The
mm.
Any
injuries are
sport.
going to happen. That's just
Yeah.
Absolutely.
the violent nature of the game.
Yep.
Wow. What teams did you play for, Nate?
University of Nebraska. Then I got drafted to Buffalo, and I played in Carolina, and I had probably a month stint with the Rams.
A month of the Rams. You got a little taste.
Yeah, had a cup of tea with the Rams.
Yeah, okay. And what teams did you coach, Coach Lopez?
Oh man, it's like a revolving door from the Packers to oh my God, 49ers. I mean, they're just a long list. Just a long list. It's just I was a revolving door. So I can name them
What's
all,
that?
but
What does that say? Is that a good thing or is that not a good thing? I mean,
it's
did
not
you
a good
sort of
thing.
stay with one?
That's the nature of the business. That's just
Mm,
if there's some days let's say we can't be there, and then some days you could be there. It's just that's how it is. That's the business, you know.
So as you see on
So
the bottom of the screen, guys, and we will comment and respond to your questions or comments as our audience is watching this on Thursday nights at 8 p.m., The Face of a Hero. We have a few minutes left. And
mhm.
on the bottom, you see it says Coach Lopez at pax.org. What's that about? What what
Well,
what are you guys doing now? Both of you.
so we are professional athletes community service, and we're a nonprofit of Illinois. And what we're doing is we're giving back to the community, but we got different sports. We got from soccer, baseball, football. So we got a little balance and we got a little bit of everything and so we started this program to really serve the inner city of Chicago, to really give back to them, but we want to hit everywhere. We want to hit south side, west side, even Indiana. You
Right.
never know, right?
Mhm.
So but we want to serve the underserved, you know and it's not only just the sport, the human side of it too, giving codes back to school, having the, mentoring, I mean, what's so cool about having an NFL player or a baseball player or basketball player from their respective sport and get to talk to a kid, play catch or, sit there and having a conversation. You know what I mean? One of the biggest things that we do every year for the last 9 years, I did the Colombian Festival, and those 99% of those kids, they all play soccer, but we're teaching football. But we're adding soccer this year because I have a young lady named Cecilia Torres, Colombiana, who played for the national team for Mexico, and she was an All-American at SMU. at soccer. She's part of my team, so she's going to be there and giving back to the kids. So Nate's part of that. Nate loves going there. I got a lot of NFL guys coming there, and it's just it gives us an opportunity to bring back the former players to the community. Remember, I tell the guys all the time, you got to hear your name, 95,000 fans hearing your name while you're throwing out the garbage, right? Now they're citizens and giving back, right? But the beautiful thing about these guys, they're sincere, they're fathers, they're giving a special gift to the kids themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's so cool? Knowing that what it would be like, one kid asked me, we had our camp with Nate Turner's sons, and that was our camp, was part of youth development. And knowing that his sons and they're great kids, they're running the camp, but knowing that the kids were 10 years old or 9 years old while their dad was playing. How cool is that? Knowing that a kid could say, wow, your dad was in the NFL. How was that? Because they're asking questions like that to him. You know what I mean? So, it gets back. You want to go and say something?
It's biblical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay, it's biblical, and there he went. So,
Nate, you still there?
it's just a black screen from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So I know that he's having technical difficulty.
But
But
we're giving back. We're giving a lot of back.
Yeah,
What's your question?
Angel, out of all the kids that you've been coaching in that, which one has you've made the best impact or the most impact on? The one that you can think of right now. You don't have to name names in that, but just is there one or a male or female?
There's a lot. There's a lot, but I'll
One that
say
really stands out.
I could say one of the kids I coached in high school. That
He coming in. He out there.
One of the kids I coached in high school. I made an impact with him, and he wound up playing in the NFL. He's still playing now.
Oh, wow.
And I coached him in high school, and
Probably Uber.
it the good thing that, like Nate said, if you're honest to the kids, they're gonna know who you really are. Let me tell you real quick. Robert Torres, my good friend of mine, who's from Parent Peace and Justice.
Robert, he's out. He's coming up next. We got to schedule him. He true is a hero.
Yep. And he many years ago, he asked me to help him, right? And I told him I don't know nothing about activism and stuff, and the violence and everything was going on in the city of Chicago, right? I'm just a coach, so I went to this event with him, and this little kid asked me. He goes, "How's it cool? You know all these any NFL players and stuff like that, and I wish I could play it in the NFL."
Pajamas.
You know what I told him? I said, "It's cool, but the biggest thing that you need to do is go to school. But the best hero is your mom and dad. They're gonna help you for who you are. You know what I mean? And your teachers, they're gonna help you. And I told him that's what helped me. That's what helped a lot of NFL players. Ask every NFL player, and you know what they're gonna tell you? It was their high school coach. I'll guarantee you that most of these players, even if you go see the draft, you'll see high school coaches at the draft because they made a major impact on those kids, and they can tell you that too.
So the same goes for you. Ask the question for Nate, Agustin.
Yeah, Nate.
Right.
Nate, my question was, out of all the kids that you've coached or mentored, is there one that stands out that you've made the most impact on?
Where'd you put our water bottle?
Can you hear us, Nate? I know you have some noise in the background.
I know it's loud. Hold on.
Why is your kids, man? What you talking about?
Gee whiz.
You got a full house over there, Nate.
Yeah, it's full house. It just became a full house.
Did you hear the question, Nate? Or he'll repeat.
What was the question?
Go ahead.
The question is, out of all the kids that you've mentored or coached, is there one that's made the one that's made the biggest impact on you or on them?
You know what? I think that all the facts. I think before I left, before I got cut off, I was saying that things were biblical. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
the reaping and sowing, and you have to, these kids. You have to put something into these kids for them to grow and have something come out of it. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I don't. You mean? There's been times I've paid for stuff out of my pocket. I know Angel's paid for stuff out of his pocket. God always gives it back to you when you give for a
Yes, he
good reason.
does.
When you
Absolutely.
give for a good reason, it always comes back. So,
Yes, he does. You sow a good seed, you reap it.
whether it's monetary, whether it's your time, whether it's a conversation, it all helps. It all helps. And sometimes it's the stuff that don't cost anything that's the most important.
Right,
Yes.
right. Your time, when you're dedicating your time, when you're giving your time to a young child, whether it's a teenager or a young
Right.
adolescent, you're giving them time, but they're listening to your expertise, to your advice, to your wisdom. That is priceless.
Yeah, and half these kids that we deal with are fatherless, and and the good thing about having these former players come into the community, it helps them understand um, that they're not alone. They're
Right,
this.
right,
You got to remember, they take this and they say, "Wow, this guy came out to my community to spend some time,"
right.
and that goes a long way. Now, I'll tell you this: the young lady that you probably remember, Ms. Eve, that got
Mhm.
killed from Funston. Well, I forgot the school. I think it's one of them. They got shot in the head, and we were there. Me, Timmy, and some of the guys were there, and then we found out she passed away. I didn't know she had a little shrine of us in there,
Mm,
like all the autographs and stuff and I was like bawling because we just
mm.
saw that girl the year, a couple months before. And this is the reason why I could say, like Nate was saying, it's biblical. It really is. And you
Serving,
you we have we have a purpose in life. All of us have.
right.
And we all have our own platform. But how could we ourselves, all of us here, can give back to the underserved, and by doing that we need to do biblical, right? I know what my purpose is, and I already know. So, and what happens is, I I talk to all the guys, and I'm sincere. I show them my heart, and I tell them this is what I'm doing. And you got to understand, to have a Nate Turner on your corner, who's real, who understands the city of Chicago, understands the kids,
Hmm,
has played
hmm.
in 2 Super Bowls, has played in a big time school, and guess what? None of this goes to his head. He is humble as pie. And that
Amen to
and
that.
that's the kind of guy I need
Mhm.
to be around, because you know
Amen.
why? Because he walks the way I walk.
Come on
Okay?
now.
And we did everything in the past, but we're looking towards the future. So
That's
what
right.
we can give these kids, because you know what he's doing, and what we're all doing, we're leaving a legacy behind so people can see what we're doing. And
Right,
that's what's
right,
all
right.
about. You know what I mean? We are right here, me and Nate. It's a perfect example that race is no color. You got to understand about
Yeah,
football. Let
amen.
me tell
I'm
you something
with
about football. Let me tell you about something about football. In football, you're gonna have you're gonna have 55 ball players from all walks of life. But once they put that helmet on, it's only one color,
you.
and
Mm.
becomes family, becomes brotherhood. Nate knows
Amen
that.
to that.
I know. We
Amen to
both know
that.
that, and
Yeah,
that's how we go.
it becomes a situation where you can
See,
either get it done or you can't get it done, and there's
that's right.
no color to that. There's no color
Thank you.
to that.
One fail, you all fail. One wins, you all win.
And
Right.
that's my point. That's what we're both doing. See what I'm saying? So because he's my brother, We're doing it. He goes, he's getting up and he's getting up. He's going to close. He's going to fade. He's going to do everything kid for those kids in that community. And I'm going to be right there with him.
Wow,
You know what I
wonderful.
mean? Same
Yeah.
as with me. So we need to transcend to the community of Chicago and make a ripple effect. And see, and we
Right.
are doing
Right.
that, and we're putting that our message across. So if every kid wants to do something, remember, my message to them is be true to yourself. Carry your last name. Learn to become a productive citizen, because look at us too, we're doing.
Awesome. And on that note, thank you. That's a great segue. That's a great way to end it. Guys,
Yes.
we're going to have to bring you back again. That music is telling us we are up. Our hour has come and gone. It's been great to have you both.
Absolutely.
Check out Coach Lopez at pax.org to get a hold of them. You have the number on the screen, 312-824-7439. Nate, thank you so much for your time. And Coach Angel
No
Lopez,
problem.
thank you as well.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you,
Kate
Angel, for all you do.
Turner and Coach Angel from the NFL. So we appreciate you, all that you're doing. Thank you for being those heroes to our kids. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
God bless you. You take
All
care.
right, thanks.
Thank you. Wow.
We
Yeah,
had some glitches tonight, but we got through it.
we made it through. We made it through, and I'm glad that we got through it. And we are here, Face of a Hero, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Until next time, we'll see you then. Agustín, nos vemos.
Nos
Hasta
vemos.
luego. Yeah. Bye now.
Good night.
Good night.